Dear guests, we warmly welcome you to the event celebrating India-Japan Next Generation Partnership, Focus, Indian Talent and Skill Partnership. To begin today's event, may I invite Mr. R. Madhusudan, Deputy Chief of Mission, Embassy of India, Tokyo, to deliver the inaugural remarks.
His Excellency Mr. Junichi Ishidera, Vice Governor of Yamanashi Prefecture, Mr. Kazushige Tanaka, Deputy Director General for Trade and Economic Cooperation of METI, Mr. Fuminori Yokote, Senior Regional Coordinator, Southwest Asia Division of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Toshiyuki Masui, Managing Executive Officer, Sumitomo Realty and Development, other distinguished speakers for today, friends of India in Japan, friends from industry, businesses. I'm happy to welcome you all to the Embassy of India for our seminar focusing on Indian talent and skill partnership. Today's event is the fourth in the India Connect series that has been jointly organized by the Embassy of India and Sumitomo Realty and Development. Following the success, why is the light switched off? It's okay? Following the success of our recent seminars focusing on entertainment, deep tech, and manufacturing sectors, we are looking forward to continue our cooperation and explore strong bilateral avenues for partnership. India and Japan share strong historical, cultural, and people-to-people ties. We are united by our shared values and common interests. The special strategic and global partnership between India and Japan covers cooperation in diverse areas: high-level engagements, economic and trade ties, digital partnership, defense and security, clean energy, semiconductors, artificial intelligence, and so on. This strategic partnership has created a strong and stable foundation for us to navigate the challenges that we face together today. It has also provided us with significant opportunities that could benefit both our people and indeed the region and the world at large. Economic partnership underpins our bilateral relationship. Japan has been a consistent partner in India's developmental journey. Japanese companies have been household names for generations of Indians, and iconic projects in India, such as the Delhi Metro, carry a Japanese footprint. Today, the complementarities between our two economies has presented enormous opportunities for the two of us to work together even closer. Japan and India are the fourth and fifth largest economies in the world. Japan has technology, India has talent, India has size. Japan has world-renowned companies that excel at cutting-edge technology. India has demographically young population and a geographical location that provides an advantage in terms of access to other markets such as the Middle East and Africa. Through programs such as Skill India, Digital India, Startup India, and initiatives focused on global skilling partnerships, India is preparing its youth for opportunities in emerging sectors. Every year, we produce about 1.5 million Indian graduates. This is more than the number from the US and China combined. Every 1 in 5 semiconductor design engineers in the world is an Indian. More than 1/3 of Fortune 500 companies have Indian origin leaders in senior management positions. Global giants like NVIDIA and Intel have their largest R&D centers outside the US in cities like Bengaluru and Hyderabad. These produce cutting-edge research on artificial intelligence. There are over 1,700 global capability centers in India, and these are increasingly being staffed by Indians returning home after a stint abroad. Dear friends, we have about 59,000 Indians living in Japan today. They are not a large number. They do not come anywhere within the top 10 of foreign nationalities in Japan. But they have contributed immensely to the social and economic development of this country. Last year, during the visit of Prime Minister Modi to Japan, our two sides agreed on an action plan for human resource exchange. This action plan calls for exchange of more than 500,000 personnel in both directions in the next 5 years, including 50,000 skilled personnel and potential talents from India to Japan. Japan is globally admired for its manufacturing excellence, precision engineering, and quality standards. India has emerged as one of the world's most significant sources of young, skilled, and future-ready talent. The people-to-people exchanges between India and Japan still have a significant margin for improvement, considering the excellent bilateral relationship between our two countries. We need more academics. We need more students. We need more interns and professionals going to each other's countries and enriching each other. In a similar vein, we also look forward to more skilled Indian professionals coming and working in Japanese entities and creating values for both Japan and India. With this objective, we in the Embassy of India have partnered with the Ministry of the Economy, Trade and Investment of Japan for the India-Japan Talent Bridge initiative. The objective of this program is precisely to connect our complementary strengths in a practical and structured manner. We also see renewed interest and enthusiasm among the Japanese prefectures and companies to advance our cooperation in human resources. As we move ahead, there is a need for continued engagement between India and Japan to ensure that the existing action plans and framework on skill development and human resource mobility remain at the forefront of our bilateral agenda. We also encourage more Japanese companies, business associations, and delegations to directly engage with Indian universities, technical institutes, and skill development centers as they try to advance this avenue for cooperation. I would also encourage all stakeholders to consider how to expand Japanese language training infrastructure in India, which will increase access to quality education in Japanese, which will also provide an avenue for human resources. Finally, as we look at movement of more and more Indian talent to Japan in different sectors, we also hope that they will receive a welcoming environment in Japan that will form the basis for future cooperation as well. Dear friends, I'm confident that today's discussions will generate valuable ideas and practical pathways for strengthening this important dimension in the India-Japan cooperation. I sincerely hope that today's seminar encourages you to view India talent not as a distant option, but as a strategic and long-term partner in strengthening your competitiveness, innovation, capacity, and regional growth. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now invite His Excellency Mr. Junichi Ishidera, Vice Governor of Yamanashi Prefecture, to offer his remarks.
皆様改めましてこんにちは。ただいまご紹介いただきました山梨県副知事の石寺でございます。本日はですね、第4回インディアコネクトという日本企業のインド展開を後押しする大変有意義な場におきましてですね、本件の取り組みをご紹介させていただく機会を頂戴しましたことに、出題者並びに関係者の皆様に心より感謝申し上げます。今回は日印間の経済交流を具体的なビジネスに結びつける実践的なプラットフォームとして開催されておると承知しております。先進的な取り組みや知見の共有、 さらには企業間のネットワーク形成が図れる大変重要な機会であると受け止めており、本件も今後いろいろ参加させていただきたいと考えております。とりわけ今回は人材活用をテーマに掲げられ、インドの持つ豊富な高度人材をいかに活用していくかという極めて重要な視点から議論が行われるものと期待しております。このような中、近年、インドは世界有数の成長市場として存在感を高めており、日本の企業の皆さんもとより、地方自治体にとりましても、今や極めて重要な戦略的パートナーとなっております。こうした中、本県では長崎知事就任しました7年前からですね、インド大使館、前のシビジョージ大使館からのですね、ご指導を仰ぐ中でですね、インドとの関係を模索する中で、インド最大の人口を有しますウッタルプラディッシュとですね、2024年12月に基本合意を締結し、関係構築を進めてまいりました。本年2月にはですね、ウッタルプラディッシュのヨギ首相に来日いただきまして、ヨギ首相はですね、インド国内において大変、極めて高い影響力を持つ有力な政治家でありまして、その強いリーダーシップの下で、同州では大きな発展を遂げておると承知しております。来日の際にはですね、大使館また外務省のですね、皆様のご協力もいただきまして、日本を代表する企業の皆様とのバイ会談をはじめ、本県主導によりますビジネスネットワーキングの機会を設け、実質的な経済交流の促進を図ってまいりました。さらに、本県では複数の自治体と連携し、日印友好交流促進知事ネットワークを立ち上げまして、地方から交流を広げる体制を整えているところであります。山梨県はこの枠組みを通じまして、ウッタルプラディッシュとの関係を1対1にとどめるのではなく、私どもがゲートウェイとなりまして、日本の自治体
one-to-one relationship, but we would like to serve as a gateway so that relationship can be built with universities and other local municipalities and Uttar Pradesh. Building on this endeavor, we would like to lead to actual businesses moving beyond simple bilateral relations and exchange. In August this year, headed by our governor, delegation will be sent to India. The biggest characteristic of this delegation is that it will not only conduct site tours, but will create opportunities that will lead to actual businesses. And based on our relationship with Uttar Pradesh, reliable access and effective matching opportunities are to be provided. That is the aim of the delegation. With Uttar Pradesh state government, we would like to have meetings, interviews, and exchange of views with Indian government officials, and we'll also have exchange with Japanese companies in India to access very rare opportunities. We would also like to understand investment opportunities, understand the local companies in India, and partner exploration to lead to future business engagement. Especially if you are considering business in India, this will be a practical opportunity to take first step while minimizing risk. And those who are already doing business in India, this may also offer opportunities to enlarge business in Uttar Pradesh and find new opportunities. This delegation is open to people from both inside and outside of Yamanashi prefectures. And we would like to work as one so that we can have scale benefit and synergy that can be achieved only by working together in large number. In addition to when to enter India, who to be connected with will decide the success in India. We hope that this delegation will offer opportunities to meet reliable partners for future success. I hope that you will seize this opportunity to participate in the delegation. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to present this future delegation.
May I now request Mr. Kazushige Tanaka, Deputy Director General for Trade and Economic Cooperation, Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, to deliver the remarks.
皆さん、こんにちは。経済産業省の田中です。
I am Tanaka with METI. It is my great pleasure for me to take this opportunity and speak today, and His Excellency Magma Mohammed Malik, and India Ambassador to Japan, and Madhu Sudan, Deputy Chief of Mission, and members of the Indian Embassy in Japan, and event partners, Sumitomo Realty and Development. Once again, I would like to extend our gratitude once again. Since the cooperation relationship between Japan and India was upgraded to special strategic global partnership in 2014, we could cultivate the partnership across wide range of fields, including cultural exchange and security, economy, and people. However, I feel that there's a change in quantity and quality over the last few years. As India's global presence expands amid the country's economic growth, I feel even more strongly the passion and keen interests of the Japanese companies have in India ever than before. Well, until recently, I was not able to visit India, but until before that, I was visiting India every few months. And also, I also visited the Sumitomo Realty and Development property in India as well. I should not advertise about that, but their project is quite large, and I had witnessed that sites myself, and I was really impressed. So, all of the audience mission provided by the Yamanashi Prefecture, as well as METI programs that we are going to introduce from now today. I hope that please think about the visit to India, and if possible, within 3 years, could you raise hands if you were able to visit India for the last 3 years? About a half of the audience have visited India in the last 3 years. I am strongly urge you to visit India firsthand. Maybe perhaps there are things that you'd like to see or something that you don't like to see, but seeing the situation is the very first starting point. So please visit India and try to get in touch with the Indian people. And I believe the momentum of India will further elevate going forward. For example, at the time that the Prime Minister Modi visited Japan last time, Japan, India, the joint vision for the next decade was announced, and there are many direction was shown in that statement. But what is particularly relevant today is the next generation economic partnership, as well as next generation people-to-people exchanges. First, next generation economic partnership sets the target of investment in India, specifically in public-private investment framework for India set out in 2022 for 5 trillion yen over 5 years was achieved in just 3 years, and therefore the target was raised to 10 trillion yen this time. Furthermore, in order to promote the expansion of Japanese SMEs to the India market, we set out to establish a forum for SMEs. And December last year, METI have, in cooperation with the Japan Chamber of Commerce Industry, dispatched a mission of SME to India. SMEs in Japan has a high technical capabilities who will be able to win new business in India and grow together with Indian partner is something that we aim for. Another key pillar is next generation people-to-people partnership. India has a large young population. Demographic dividend is expected to last until around 2050. This trend is expected to continue, and with the talented individuals seeking opportunities for both at home and abroad. Japan facing a declining birth rate and aging population. There's a serious shortages of labor. By enabling India talent to thrive in Japan, this will benefit both Japan and India. It is a win-win relationship. So Ambassador Madhu kindly said that India has a size, Japan has technology, and India also has people. India also has technology as well. From that point of view, please experience India firsthand by yourself. Now, in order to further enhance the relationship with India, as Ambassador Madhu mentioned kindly earlier, 500,000 people exchange is now being agreed to, and a specific action plan is now being prepared. At METI, in order to realize this, we are putting in place many initiatives. For instance, last year, In order for looking for the business partners, we have dispatched the Japanese mission teams. And also, in order to raise the Japanese steel manufacturing talents, we've provided us support for dispatching the lecturers and teachers. And also, there are some internship and exchange program subsidies as well. And the people in India who found opportunities in Japanese companies, actually 13,000 people in India have some exchanges with the Japanese companies, and we will further strengthen the links between Indian talent and Japanese companies, particularly the medium-sized and small businesses in regional areas, which labor shortages are becoming increasingly acute, is something that we'd like to help. One idea is connecting Indian universities with Japanese companies. We will dispatch a mission of Japanese companies and aim to foster a sustainable recruitment of highly skilled Indian nationals. Secondly, offering internships by the Japanese company aiming to recruit talent with a specific expertise in science, technology, cutting-edge IT and AI and semiconductors. Thirdly, developing Japanese-style manufacturing talent developing program in collaboration with vocational training college and similar institutions in India. Through these initiatives, we aim to fundamentally cultivate a pool of talent capable of serving as a bridge between Japan and India. And yet, in order to tap into the prominent Indian capability and talent, it is not just Japan. All around the world, the whole country is aiming to target at the Indian talents, and Japan is lagging behind in this area. But Japan and India has unique relationship where we hope that great talent from India will thrive in Japan and going back to India after that, so that such people will contribute to the growth of India. And we'd like to generate a large-scale exchange of people, which will make a virtuous cycle, and we enjoy win-win relationship. The whole world continues to change at a very rapid pace, and countries are relying on each other and strengthen cooperation with the partner countries where possible. The personnel exchange program and training between Japan and India, for that to happen, we'd like to further enhance the relationship between Japan and India, and I hope that you will all work to promote this, and we at the ministry will further strengthen Japan-India relationship. And I would like to ask for your cooperation. And if you have any problem, please advise us and ask for requests to us. Thank you very much and enjoy today's session.
May I now invite Mr. Fuminori Yokote, Senior Regional Coordinator, Southwest Asia Division, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to offer his remarks.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the kind introduction. I'm Yokote from Southwest Asia Division of Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In 1991, many years ago, I visited India to receive a training on Hindi language. And since then, on 3 occasions, I worked in the Japanese embassy in Delhi. I have long-standing relations with India. Based on that experience today, I would like to share with you recent policy initiatives regarding India by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in particular, promotion of people-to-people exchange and support to Japanese corporations entering India or doing business in India. First, regarding the initiatives by Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in August last year, on the occasion of Prime Minister Modi's visit to Japan, the Japan-India joint vision for the next decade was announced, as was earlier introduced. This vision identified several topics, and there are 3 major areas, namely economic security included security area, and the second is economy, investment, and innovation. And the third area is the topic today, people-to-people exchange. These 3 areas are areas where Japan and India will take time to devote their efforts. That was reaffirmed. As for people-to-people exchange area, as a supplemental document, Japan-India Human Resource Exchange Initiative was another document that was announced. This initiative is regarding highly skilled professionals in India and Indian talent to be leveraged to promote economic growth in Japan and regional revitalization. And after having such experience in Japan, Indian professionals can return to India to contribute to development in India. We hope to promote such development, exchange, and mutual flow of talent in a mutually complementary fashion between Japan and India. And that is why this initiative was started. Under this initiative, METI and MOFA are developing human resources who will be bridge between Japan and India. And we are also promoting exchange of people by those employed locally in Japanese companies doing business in India. Under this initiative, there is an action plan. In case of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we have internship program for Indian university students. And METI has the earlier introduced India-Japan Talent Bridge program. This is a quite outstanding program. And next, JST, Japan Science and Technology Agency, has Lotus program for researchers from India. These are groundbreaking efforts that were initiated in many ways after the visit by the Prime Minister of India to Japan last August. Secondly, about the trend of Japanese companies doing business in India, needless for me to say to all of you who are more knowledgeable than this, India has the largest population in the world and is enjoying high economic growth and is attracting attention globally. India is not about future. Currently, India is already a main player driving the growth in the world. It is a major economic player. That is what I was able to see from my visit myself. As for interest by Japanese companies, for example, JBIC, according to JBIC, for 4 consecutive years, India is selected as the #1 destination, potential destination for business by Japan. And as for actual businesses, Japanese 3 mega banks, one after another, invested a large amount in India. For example, Mizuho Financial Group acquired Vendas, which is Indian investment bank, to provide stronger support to Japanese companies entering India. And Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group has made equity investments to Shriram Finance, a major non-bank in India, to support development of land transport infrastructure and logistics value chain. SMBC Group has made investments in Yes Bank, a commercial bank in India, to offer commercial banking functions in more expanded fashion to retail customers and SMEs in India. Japanese mega banks are engaged so deeply in India. That is the day and age that we are living in now. As for Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we are very aware of these developments by Japanese companies, and as much as possible, we would like to support Japanese companies doing business in India. And as you may have heard in the news report, we have established India-Japan Relations are responsible Japan-India Economic Affairs Division to support the bilateral relations and economic development of 2 countries. As for the key to succeeding in India, India has a huge population and is achieving 6 to 7% per annum growth. The scale is so large, and there's political stability. Prime Minister Modi's administration is in its 3rd term, and the human talent, which is the topic today. As for India, I have been observing India for quite some time, and as many of you already know, the key to succeeding in business in India is leveraging Indian human resources, finding the right partner locally, and work together to engage in business on an equal footing. And so human talent in India is the key. According to a certain survey, we did a research, who are the companies that are hugely successful in India through acquisition of local company, etc. These companies who are successful have been able to build cooperative relations and structure in India. Every time I visit, I notice the differences in India, and Japanese people alone may find it difficult to enter into India without any other support. And thus, Indian talent has a huge potential. Another point is that who to partner with is key in India. If this fails, even a good plan may not be executed successfully. Those of you who may have struggled in doing business in India, and myself included, we know that the key is who to partner with in India. In that respect as well, Indian talent is very important. And in addition, as plus alpha beyond India lies Middle East and Africa, East Africa. Traditionally, with East Africa and Middle East, India has strong personal ties and network. So to move beyond India for further export, there is value because of the connection with Middle East and East Africa. And I believe this is also an area where the value of Indian talent lies. As I've mentioned earlier, we are taking various initiatives to promote people-to-people exchange between India and Japan. And this is done not only to promote innovation of Japanese companies inside Japan, but utilizing human network and ties. We hope that Japanese companies are able to be successful in India as well. And foothold for that can be developed under the initiatives by MOFA. And we also would like to see brain circulation. So even though what we can do may be small, we would like to be able to be of assistance to Japanese and Indian companies. Today, experts who are very well versed with Indian human resources will be providing business presentations and will be engaged in panel discussion. I believe it is important for the government sector and private sector to work together to promote strongly Japanese companies to do business in India. And MOFA would like to support such efforts wholeheartedly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Yokote. Next, may I request Mr. Toshiyuki Masui, Managing Executive Officer, Sumitomo Realty and Development, to deliver the remarks.
皆様、こんにちは。
Good afternoon. I am Masui, the head of the India business of Sumitomo Realty and Development. The Indian Embassy is the host of this event, and we are the event partner. And I'd like to thank the Embassy of India for providing such a fantastic hall today. Well, at Sumitomo Realty and Development, we hold such conferences. The first is the market overview, second is entertainment, and the third is manufacturers and the human resource development. And the total of 1,300 people that we were able to welcome. And this is the fourth event. Today's topic is how to utilize the people. And those who have applied was over 170 people, and that actually proves the passion of the Japanese companies. And let me first elaborate on our business in India. In Mumbai of India, 5 projects in 2 cities in Mumbai, a total of 1 trillion yen worth of investment to try to make a multifunctional urban area. The long-haul business is something that we look for, and we would like to revitalize the business in Mumbai and polish the competitiveness edge of Mumbai as a city. A global standard office building will be provided, and also the city building where we can have a deep root, and also we can help support Japanese companies to open office in India. And many Japanese companies could make inroads into India, which is the country where the high growth is enjoyed. And if that is the case, that will be great benefit for the Japanese economy as well. So we are holding such events in continuous manner going forward as well. The first project is as follows. At the end of September, we would complete this first project. And this is used as a foothold of Japanese companies to open the first office. And we will open the flex floor. There are over 70 companies applied for the space at this moment, and this is the layout of the share office. And it's not just lease office rates. However, the residential housing as well as the lease of the cards and also consultation services for the developing business in India. We'd like to help support the Japanese companies to make inroads in India. As such, we would contribute to the development of Indian economy. On this particular floor, the Japanese style convenience stores and the community lounge is going to be opened. And also, there's a restaurant floor separately where Japanese chef will be operating Japanese cuisine restaurants, and as well as Indian restaurants are already picked the space. And 1.5 billion people is there in India, and economy is a high growth country. And by having the very first project, over 300 people are going to start to work in our first building project. And starting on June 1st next week, at Japan office, building managers and operation managers are going to have a training session in our Tokyo office. For this particular event, let me introduce to you. There were two rounds of events that we hosted in India called Japan Matsuri. And in the Wadi area that we own, around 90,000 square feet area where we have an exchange opportunity. A total of visitors was 2,400 over April 18th to 19th. And these are the contents of the Matsuri event. Animation and the karaoke. There were a lot of attention drawn from the people. And we were enriched by the friendly and passionate atmosphere. And there was a very nice, amicable situation in this conference hall. And the Japanese companies prepared this stand free of charge, and they had made a strong appeal of their business and the companies. We would like to hold this type of events on continuous basis so that we would like to reach out to the local community. So if some company wants to hold event, standalone basis or together with us like this, please approach us. We can offer a great opportunity. Without further ado, let us open this event today. Great to see you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Masu. May I now invite Mr. Takahisa Ohira, Head of Global Department Partner of Deloitte Tomatsu Venture Support, to deliver a presentation.
皆さん、こんにちは。今日はですね、素晴らしい機会を頂戴しましてありがとうございます。皆様のご挨拶の中にも、たびたび登場させていただきました、インディア・ジャパン・タレント・ブリッジ・プログラムというプログラムがございましたけれども、今年はですね、またエリアを拡大してですね、実施することになりましたので、改めて皆様にご案内をさせていただきたいと思ってですね、お時間を頂戴しました。今日、表示するスライドはですね、後ほど共有させていただくことももちろん可能でございますので。
Will be using today can be made available. If you are interested to have slides, please let us know. I will be joining the networking session. So if you would like to have slides, please let me know on that occasion as well. I'm Ohira. From Deloitte. And in order to promote the sustainable growth and technology innovation of Japanese economy, this program has been implemented since last year. In India and in other global South countries, there are highly skilled professionals, and we would very much like to be able to take advantage of these highly skilled professionals. But for many Japanese companies, it may not be so easy, and that is why we are offering assistance. And first, with employment promotion event from August to October this year, Indian universities and other global South universities will be visited with a delegation of Japanese businesses to improve presence of Japanese companies amongst students. As for internship program that is shown on the right, excellent students, high caliber students will be invited in Japan to take part in internship program after matching the students and Japanese companies to promote subsequent employment in the future. On the left side, this is the employment promotion event that was shown on the left side of the earlier slide. It was limited to India last year, but this year it will be held in 4 countries in Global South, namely India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Vietnam. There will be 4 events in India, and in other countries, 1 event per each. 7 events will be carried out in 14 universities. In each event, 7 Japanese companies will be presented, and we would like 7 Japanese companies to participate in each event. As for last year, timeline is still a draft, but we will visit a local university to have Japanese companies present their businesses, and there will be interaction with university students. A very large number of students participated. It shows a very strong degree of interest in Japanese companies by Indian students, and some students were wearing a business suit to attend the event. I hope that by participating in this event, please feel the atmosphere locally. There were also round tables, and after at the end of the event, there were networking. So students will be visiting the table of the companies that students are interested in. And the companies that took part in this event said that there were questions one after another from students without any interruption, showing strong interest from Indian students in Japanese companies. And I believe visiting India yourselves will be the best way to deepen your understanding of the actual situation in India. And 7 companies per tour, or 49 companies in total, will be able to participate. And travel expenses, accommodation, a bus, etc., transportation cost for 1 person per company will be supported by us, and up to 3 persons per company are able to participate. Please refer to the details in documents which I can distribute to you on request. Second is internship program. In September this year to February next year, basically, in principle, 18 months of internship program is to be carried out by companies in Japan. It can be done online, but as much as possible, we would like Indian students to come to Japanese companies in Japan or their Indian branch in India or online. And we hope that this will be your first ever Indian intern in your company. And the first ever intern is very important. And those who participate in the internship will invite the next interns. So please also do make use of this internship program. This program will be using Talendi from Tech Japan. This is a matching platform by Tech Japan, who will be a panelist later. Outstanding students in India and other global South countries will be supported strongly through this platform so that companies can be matched with excellent students, and internship students will be supported from the beginning to the end of the internship program, including visiting, coming to Japan. So please find this program to be something that you can participate without concerns. Coding test and professional skill registration will be carried out so that needs of each participating company can be satisfied. Internship program, while it is underway, there will be cost support If this is an in-person internship or online internship, there are some differences in the conditions of the support, but this is for your information. And this may overlap with the earlier material, but I hope that this will be a trigger for your first ever internship program. When will this program open for sign up? The first will be employment promotion event, and June the 30th is the deadline to apply for employment promotion event. There is still time, and please do sign up. And as for internship, first due date, it is June the 30th, and the second deadline is the end of July. But as soon as slots are taken up, we will finish. And we do not know how soon the slots will be all taken up, even though we are secretariat. So if you are interested, please apply as soon as possible. Last year, many companies participated, and many Indian students also participated. As the secretariat, what we felt strongly is that this program was quite successful. There are more people who are interested in India and more companies who would like to employ Indian people, but it may be difficult to take the first step and first action. I hope that this program helps you take that first step. With that, I would like to conclude my presentation. If you're interested, please contact me later during the networking session.
Thank you, Mr. Ohira. Next, we have Ms. Keiko Kobayashi, Managing Executive Officer, General Manager, Global Business Headquarters, and Ms. Maiko Okada, Deputy General Manager, Global Search Business Division, Global Business Headquarters, Asona Incorporated, to deliver the presentation.
はい、皆さん、こんにちは。はじめまして、パソナグループの小林と申します。私からはですね、まずパソナグループの海外拠点について少しご案内させていただきまして、インドの専門家にバトンタッチしたいと思っております。パソナグループ、今50周年を迎えまして、インドも、実は日系企業の中で最初に進出をした会社となります。現在、インドでは8拠点、オフィスを持っておりまして、住友不動産になりますムンバイにもオフィスを構えております。
Middle Realty and Development exists. We also have an office there as well. So, for the success of business of Japan, related to all our issues in regard to human and personnel, we are providing solutions. Over 20 years of experiences, hiring, dispatch, staff dispatch used to be the focal point in the past. However, all things related to HR, it's not just a new development in India, but everything is changing in India. Pay grade is changing, and also the development stage is different. And how to make a great success of the company in India actually involves people. How to utilize the talents in India is, of course, is a key for the business success. So if anything that we could help you, we are more than happy to do so. So please approach us during the reception and card exchange. Once again, good afternoon. I am Global Search Businesses of Persona. I am Okada, and it is my great pleasure to be given this opportunity. My CV is as follows. Listed here, and relationship between me and India starts in 2011 when I got involved in the office opening of southern India. I stationed in Bangalore and Chennai. I opened an office, and we help the HR part of the Japanese companies to open businesses there. And there were 4 Japanese people from Persona and 7 local hires in India. That was the size. However, a total number there is 90 employees, and we keep growing in India. When I first get to India, my impression was every year the life is thriving and enriched every year, becoming affluent every year. And when I was elementary school at the Japanese societal change and the economic high growth period back in elementary school, and that is replicated in India under the current circumstances. To dive into the main topic based upon my own experiences, I'd like to share my experience about how to best utilize the talents in India. These are the locations where the Pasonat's office exists in India, and that there are some characteristics in each city. And state by state, language is different in India. So state is different, and then it's like a completely different country. But basically, in urban cities, there's no significant changes or differences in talents in major cities. Wherever you go, in large cities, you will be able to find great talents. Bangalore and Mumbai, for example, these were many European and US investment throughout the history. So there are great talents in this city. And also, the Mars Explorer Lots was launched only in Asia, was in India. And a parts supplier of Mars Explorer was something that I got investigated. Of course, there is a domestic company in India, and also in Kerala state, manufacturers, several of the components makers are listed as a parts provider. So wherever you go in India, there are great talents and great companies across India. In addition, the talents from India will pursue the global career actively. There are nearly 1 million Indian nationals, engineers are quite active in America, and there are prominent senior executives of large global corporations are active as well. One major reason is that English is one of the official language in India. So Indian talents are quite superb, but of course it is a highly education oriented society. So it has to be more than the bachelor's of arts. It is not a generalist hire. You need to go to a great university, good university to acquire some expertise and get good rate positions in the companies, even if people are under the university degrees, and then they go to the school during the nighttime and try to aim for the higher academic degrees and try to promote it to the higher titles in the company. And that is really a ambitious moves by the Indian people. And that actually underpins the high growth of the Indian economy as well as the company. And Pasono is conducting the salary and social benefits and welfare in Indian workers. And so average pay rates is shown in this chart. As you see, every year, average 10% or so of regular pay increase in Indian people. So HR as well as appraisal will have to be applied when you think about hiring Indian people. This data shows this is by position and title as well as breakdown by the states. And this is the average salary for each, and lower right, DM. That is deputy manager level, which is the probably section chief to the manager, and also manager as well as senior manager from the deputy of deputy head of the manager, and these are the ranking of the title, where depending on the size of the companies and so forth, the position will be changed. However, assistant general manager on the left, yellow is overall median, 310,000 rupee. Rather than to look at the differences, I would like you to capture what are the general pay levels of Indian market. So this is based upon my personal experiences. Some are subjective, where these are the characters of the Indian talent. Then one of the character is second from the top, awareness to the work. They work so that their they themselves as well as the family's life is going to be affluent. And definition that family is broader than those of the Japan. And usually Japanese people are yourself, a spouse, and their children. However, for the case of Indian talents, their parents, as well as the brothers, sisters, and the relatives, as well as the spouses, relatives, and brothers and sisters as well. So all these are placed on the shoulder of the workers, and they are fully aware of that. And that's why they are really hungry for becoming affluent, and that's why they work so hard and contribute to the high growth. If you open office in India and hire the local people in India, among people in India, how many of them understands the work culture of Japan or mindsets with an affinity with Japan? And that means that out of the broad range of talents in India, very limited people would have such a high level of affinity. If you want to hire such people, perhaps you need to train or educate such talents in your own company. Or perhaps rather than fit to the Japanese people, perhaps a Japanese way of doing will have to be adjusted to global methods or Indian methods. At Pasana, India, it is not just people in India, but also we also find the Japanese people working in India from 2013 to 2017. They were all female. However, recent trend is that male Japanese workers in India is growing because of the high growth of the Indian economy, probably becoming more attractive to all these talents, and that is great news as well. From now, I'd like to introduce Pasana India from now. So the data that we published today is based upon the Salary Survey Report 2026, and the data is excerpts from this particular report. So at Pasana India, based upon the phases of development in India of the Japanese companies, we refer to the appropriate personnel. For example, hiring stage to close phase of Indian business. At every phase, we can help support your HR methods. At Pasana India, it is an independent equity. It is not a joint venture or being acquired or merger. We have built this business from scratch, one by one, by ourselves. This is the services which we built in cooperation with the Japanese companies. So among the Japanese companies who started a business in India, well, I believe that we are a rare species in this area. Now, lastly but not least, it's not always a good time for us in doing business in India. There were many failures as well. So companies who want to do business in India, of course, you could possibly avoid the mistakes. So please use us and learn from our experiences. And we'd like to give a great possible, best possible assistance to you. So please do think about investing in India and make inroads to India market. Lastly, Pasana India's brochure is now being prepared. So if you're interested, please pick one at the reception desk. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Ms. Kobayashi. Thank you, Ms. Okada. Next, may I request Mr. Yuya Miyajima, General Manager, Sumitomo Chemical Company Limited, to deliver the presentation.
Konnichiwa、住友化学の宮島でございます。今日はですね、弊社のインド事業の紹介という形でですね、インドで事業を行っている企業の一例として、紹介したいなというふうに思っております。こちら、イントレではですね、住友化学インド社という拠点。
We have Sumitomo Chemical India Limited. Sales in the year ending March 2025 was 31.5 billion rupee, or close to 50 billion yen. 90% of the business is manufacturing, sales, and export of agricultural chemicals. The company was founded in 2000. Last year, we celebrated the 25th anniversary. The head office is in Mumbai. We have 5 other locations to manufacture agrochemicals. The managing director is Indian national Mr. Chetan Shah, who is in this photograph. On the occasion of the 25th anniversary last year, he was giving speech as shown in this photograph. As for shareholding, 75% is owned by Sumitomo Chemical, 25% by other ordinary shareholders. In 2020, it went public on National Stock Exchange of India, including back office. We have 1,700 employees. Of them, 2 are expats from Japan, so the absolute majority are Indian nationals. This is the brief history. After foundation in 2000, in the initial 10 years, to solidify the business foundation, various businesses were started. And after 2010, this is the growth stage. And the bar graph shows the sales. 2.3 billion was the 2.3 billion rupee was the sales in the first year, and last year it was 31.5 billion rupee. There were 2 acquisitions of local agrochemical manufacturer and distributor. Excel Crop Care is the second company that we acquired. This engages in manufacturing and sales of agrochemical and also export. After producing agrochemicals in India, especially exporting to African countries. African countries are sure to grow in the future, although the growth rate may not be so fast at the moment. And in fiscal 2022, even though it was still during the COVID pandemic, it achieved a record high revenue of 35.1 billion rupiah. And the sales might have seemed like it has declined, but after COVID supply chain disruptions, there were disruptions in supplies to agrochemicals. But globally, we were able to enter into other locations, and in fiscal 24, 31.5 billion rupee sales was achieved. Agricultural chemicals are used more, and because of the inventory building up in the distribution channels, sales declined in fiscal 23, and fiscal 19 is highlighted. From 2018 to 2022, it is highlighted in pink. I was working in India at this company. I was able to feel firsthand how fast India was growing and how fast agrochemical market was growing. It was a very precious experience. This shows the breakdown of the sales of Sumitomo Chemical India. 90% is agrochemicals, and as for the customers or destination, not only in India, but 22% of the sales is outside of India, and mainly South America and Africa. As for South America, it is the hottest agrochemical market. The biggest agrochemical market is Brazil, and mainly to those markets, we are producing agrochemicals and exporting. And what comes next after Asia, as the main player in agrochemicals, is Africa, and we already have about 22% of sales come from Africa. This is not really about Sumitomo Chemical India specifically, but since many of you may not be familiar with the agrochemical business, this shows the global situation of agrochemicals. In 2024 total, $70 billion was the market size, and about half of that is the number 1 country, Brazil, and the US, the former number 1, and China and Argentina follow. And number 5 is India. India is already within the top 5, a very large market. Japan is $2.5 billion market. India already is larger than Japan. And in fiscal 29, the estimate is that India will grow to 3.9 billion market. This is in US dollars. In terms of annual growth of 5.1%, amongst the top 10 countries, by far the highest growth rate. And looking at these top 10 ranking countries, there And beyond a top 10, there is only a handful of countries that are expected to grow at 5% or more. So India, it will be growing very fast, and we are doing business in India, manufacturing agrochemicals and selling agrochemicals in India. As for our offices and plants, head office is in Mumbai, Maharashtra, and neighboring Gujarat state and union territory. We have 5 factories. And agrochemicals require active ingredient. This is the key ingredient for the efficacy as agrochemical, similar to pharmaceuticals. And we have herbicide, pesticides, and bactericides. We have 14 different active ingredients. And we will process so that it's easier to use by farmers as final product. We have more than 200 brands, and 5 plants are producing active ingredients or final products. And the products are sold in India and exported to South America, Brazil, and Africa, and other countries. Right now, in these 5 factories, in terms of the use of the land area, it is already fully occupied. And in Dahej, in Gujarat, Gujarat, there is a chemical industrial park, a very large industrial park, and we will be building a 6th factory there. As for Sumitomo Chemical India, the basic strategy and what supports the strategy, namely the network, are shown in some numbers. The basic strategy is go-to-market. Farmers and distributors for farmers are who we visit to listen to their voices. In one-stop solution, already we have a wide-ranging product lineup. With our product lineup, we would like to address the problems of pests that our farmers are struggling with, and differentiation through on-field demonstration and training of farmers. Various companies have different products. So seeing with your own eyes through demonstration, that is very important for farmers in order for us to sell to farmers. So these are 3 pillars of our basic strategies. And that is supported by our business presence already. We are present in 26 states, and we have more than 15,000 direct customers. There are also sellers in each village and municipalities. They are not direct customers for us, but these distributors and farmers, we directly publicize our products to encourage them to use our products for stable production of food. That is part of our basic strategy. There are 40,000 sellers of agrochemicals, and we have direct communication, face-to-face communication with 4 million farm households. And in India, as you know, digital is very advanced in India. So using smartphones and WhatsApp or YouTube on smartphone are used in multiple languages for communication using digital too. And we're connected with more than 20 million farmers. And that is supported by about 600 sales staff. As other speakers mentioned, young, excellent talents exist in abundance. And new technologies such as digital, we tend to be lagging behind, but these staff are very well versed with these technologies and engage with communication with farmers and customers. To strengthen direct communication, Sumitomo Chemical India runs Everyday Farmers Day program. This is a steady, unglamorous program, but every day, salespeople are to have direct communication with farmers. This is a seminar. A photograph shows seminars, and on the right side, this shows demonstration of using our agricultural chemicals. This is in order to have direct communication with farmers. And at right top, this is myself. This was outside of Bangalore. and the language was not English, so I was not able to understand what was being communicated, but I was able to see earnest attention, farmers paying attention earnestly. In this fashion, steadily, step by step, we are strengthening business in India, and we also will be expanding export to Latin America, the hottest market, and also to future market Africa. And as Mr. Yokote mentioned, who to partner with is very important. And I believe that was why we were able to succeed to build Sumitomo Chemicals agricultural chemical business in India. With that, I would like to conclude. Thank you very much.
Miyajima. Now we move on to the next engaging segment of the event, a panel discussion, for which I am pleased to invite our esteemed panelists, Mr. Kenichi Ayukawa, Executive Fellow, Suzuki Motor Corporation, Mr. Ken Wakasa, former Executive Officer and Group CTO, Mercari Incorporated, and CEO of Sakura Bunsha LLC, Mr. Rajan Nanda, Chief Information Officer of Daiichi Neo Life Insurance Managing, and Chief Digital Officer of Daiichi Life Technocross. And to moderate this panel discussion, please welcome Mr. Naotaka Nishiyama, founder and CEO of Tech Japan Incorporated.
こちらのセッションではですね、日本企業の未来を開くインド高度人材戦略と題してですね、今日は非常に豪華な
open the future of the Japanese companies and India's advanced human resource strategy. And I'd like to go right into the panel session. Can I have a clicker? Thank you very much. First of all, Japan and India, the living legend, Mr. Ayukawa, is invited to give his self-introduction.
Thank you for the kind introduction. I'm Ayukawa from Suzuki Motor Company. From 2013 to 2022, I worked in Suzuki India as a managing director and learned much in India. After coming back to Japan as executive vice president, I was overseeing operations mainly of India, but after reaching certain age, I've retired from directorship and I'm now serving as counselor to the company. Thank you very much for that introduction.
And I was also, I am living in India and coming in contact with India every day. I feel strong respect to the Japanese people. That is actually the pathway that developed by Suzuki and other prominent Japanese companies. And thanks to them, I'm enjoying a great life. And representative of the Japanese people living in India, I would like to once again extend a cordial appreciation for you too. And next. Former Mercari Executive Officer, Group CTO, Wakasa-san. Well, probably you are fully aware of Mercari. This is a representative of a startup, and it is a mega venture. And Mercari is a company where all startup thinks is a benchmark and a great success case. And Wakasa-san, could you give us a self-introduction? Good afternoon. Well, thank you very much for inviting me. And all the hosts, thank you very much for inviting me. And I am currently becoming an executive technology advisory company, Sakura Bunsha, and I am currently CEO of that Goro Kaisha GK. Just to give a self-introduction, I've been all the time in the IT industry all through. The most recently, I spent about 5 years in Mercari to get involved in the executive officer management position of a technical point. And CTO work of Japan was the main area. However, during that period, about 3 years, I was actually responsible in leading the opening up of India GCC. So I think that it is a managing director of Indian business of Mercari India. So with that experiences, I started to get involved with India. And among the panelist members, probably the latecomer in India. It's only 4 to 5 years since I started to get involved with India. And prior to that, I had experience at many Japanese companies as well. However, the longest was working with Google as software engineers and software engineering manager. So I'm relatively worked in American-based companies. But from that point of view, I'm becoming relevant to India. What I heard beforehand, and I thought I knew. However, I still didn't know many things about India, and I was actually impressed positively about India, and therefore I'm a great proponent of India, and I help the Japanese companies to make inroads in India. Tech Japan, Nishiyama-san, I'm becoming an advisor, and I get involved in Wakasa-san as well. Thank you very much for inviting me. Next is that Rajananda-san. It is 100 years of history of one of the major financial institutions in Japan, Daiichi Life, engineering executive officer that he is serving. Please have a self-introduction.
Thank you. I'm Rajan Nanda. I was born in India, and I have lived in Japan for about 15 years, and I became a naturalized citizen of Japan. Congratulations. Thank you. I have spent a whole of my career in IT sector, similar to Wakasa-san, but primarily I worked in major companies in India, and in 2011, towards the end of 2011, I came to Japan and worked in financial institutions in Japan. And currently, after joining Daiichi Life Group about 1.5 years ago, I'm now serving as CIO, CDO of Daiichi Life Group. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I'd like to cover manufacturing IT software as well as a Japanese perspective as well as India's perspective. So it is a diverse range of perspective to discuss how to best utilize the talents from India. And once again, I am Tech Japan's Nishiyama. I will be serving as a moderator for today's session. Bangalore is the area that I live at this moment. And last night, I came back to Tokyo. Well, India Institute of Technology and others that India's top university have studied in internship, and we provided an internship platform. Ohira-san of Deloitte Thomas have explained that human resource exchange program, and that is something that we operated as a secretariat and started to operate such platform. Now, there is a diverse range of agenda that was given by the hosts, and I'm not sure whether we can cover all the topics exhaustively. However, we'd like to pick many opinions on these topics. First, why India now? So, at Suzuki, it's been 40 years since Suzuki opened the operations in India, so we don't have to revisit the topic. But what was the background of Suzuki to open operations in India, and how the history progressed? I'd like to ask Ayokawa-san to reflect upon, and we'd like to carefully listen to his precious experience. So could you switch the slide? Ayokawa-san, please.
So Suzuki Motor Company entered into India 44 years ago. I just joined the company, so I came to understand the history of our company, India, later by reading various documents. Suzuki Motor Company was the smallest motor company in automotive company in Japan, but the CEO said to be the top player, and no one had been in India, and that is why we went to India Japanese automotive companies were going global. And in our case, it so happened that it was India. And for more than 40 years, we have built various factories and started production of EV. This is the current status. Passenger car, we may be seen as a passenger car company, but we also export and we also make motorcycles and export motorcycles. We also started manufacturing batteries with a new company that manufactures batteries, and we also have capital venture to support new startups. Later, I will discuss human resource, but we have GCC, Global Capability Center. We are making preparations for GCC. You may be aware of this, but India has a wonderful law on CSR. 2% of the net profit must be used for social contribution. This is the basic rule in India, and based on that rule, various companies are engaged in different activities, but education is a typical activity, or regional development. These are major activities, and in our case, human resource development, education, and since we are an automotive company, we have a traffic safety institute or build a hospital for social contribution. And human resource development is a major factor. In 2016, METI promoted Japan's employment training school to be built in India, JIM, Japan Institute of Manufacturing. And we also participated in JIM, and there are 4 Japan Institutes of Manufacturing in India. IPI, occupational schools, there are many in India, and we are supporting close to 100 such institutes for occupational training, professional training. This is about Suzuki Innovation Center. With IIT Hyderabad, when it was established in 2013, we became a consortium member and had exchange with IITH. And in 2022, Innovation Center was built at IIT Hyderabad to have exchange with many different people. To support, to provide support, we decided to establish venture capital. As for human resource development and exchange with people, first employees from our subsidiaries in India were brought here, and Indian engineers were purchasing engineers, procurement engineers to procure components in India, but prototyping engineering was the education that we wanted them to have. And Indian employees were invited to Japan to receive such training. We began such program since 2010, 15, 16 years ago. On average, 100 to as many as 200 people at one time will be studying in Japan. And they also receive 6 months of Japanese language training at N5 and 4 level. And when they return to India, they are quite fluent in Japanese. But one of the headaches is that Japanese engineers, if we send them to India, they are able to work in Japanese. So Japanese engineers' language proficiency does not improve, which is a headache. But in this way, we have been exchanging personnel, and once a year we have a networking reception, and photographs show those occasions. There are some employees who come with their families, and children will be quite fluent in Japanese after 2 years of stay, and we hope that they will come back to Japan when they have future opportunities to work in Japan. This is about student internship. IIT, IIM students are received on internship for training, and in the future we hope that it will lead to them joining Suzuki as employees in the future in some cases. And as noted here from IIT, totally about 50 15 students have joined Suzuki at the head office as employees. In this way, for more than 40 years, we have been doing business in India and have engaged in personal exchange. IIT students, does it have to be students from IIT? There were also some questions. Japanese companies are suffering from engineer shortage, but IIT students may seek a higher pay after job hopping. In case of Japan, in comparison to Western companies, the remuneration may not be so high. So after a few years, some of the alumni from IIT may switch jobs, but there are also many who stay with Suzuki, but turnover can be one issue, and this requires some consideration. In any respect, we need more engineers in Japan. Mechanical engineers, IT engineers, different types of engineers. There are various different types of engineers, and we need to make adjustments so that we can invite Indian engineers in our program. I hope this was informative.
Thank you very much. I wish that if we could listen to Ayuka-san's speech, it was so interesting over 45 minutes, as Ayuka-san mentioned earlier. Global Capability Center was mentioned. And in fact, using India as a fruitful and using India for doing many innovation and R&D, and India will become the core center for the R&D and so forth. And Global Capability Center, GCC, is a sort of a coin word, and Daiichi Life as well as Suzuki is working by establishing GCC. And it was 2022 that Mercari has established GCC in India. And what was the backdrop? Wakasa-san, could you explain? Why now is the topic? Would you like to use the slide? Right. And as is mentioned earlier, well, Mercari actually lagged behind in this effort. It was actually late. And whenever you start, you would never be late. And yet, you should not be complacent and wait for another moment. Why Mercari started to open GCC in India is as follows. Well, business domain is where Mercari is providing internet service, and it is a part of the IT sector. Therefore, choosing India is, of course, is the natural course of thinking. In regard to manufacturing, of course, Japan enjoy long history, and there's a great success in the past. But in regard to IT, be it good or bad, U.S.-centric industry. And looking at my own career, I'm using IT capability, and we need to always refer to what Silicon Valley is doing and United States is doing, and that is the very fundamental. But when I was working in Google, well, I was in Japan, and I visited Silicon Valley headquarters quite often. And when I visit Silicon Valley, basically everyone surrounding me is people from India, partly the Chinese people, but perhaps 30% Indian and 30% Chinese, and the rest is miscellaneous. Therefore, when I was working in Google, big tech already has several locations in India, and thousands of hundreds of people are working, and working with Indian people is actually something for granted throughout my career. And therefore, at Mercari, GCC is mentioned, building capability in India, and those who are hired in Japan, but that is not sufficient. We will never be able to catch up. It is not just Mercari, but all the global companies around the world is doing so. And therefore, we need to open office and try to hire people on local basis. Quantity, quality, think about this. India is the best possible option available. You don't have to think twice about it. In India, it is sort of a default and normal common ways of thinking. So quality and quantity is all about describing India. So Mercari is really fast in decision making and flexible, and establishing GCC in Mercari makes sense all the time. But the companies doing business over century, and there's a highly secured business, and Daiichi Life have announced GCC in India. Nanda-san, could you give us the background?
言われている DX のも
And the DX. Well, we can't pursue DX just in Japan, and inclusive of us as well as other Japanese institutes. There are so many passion about DX, but are we making any progress? Probably none. As Wakasa-san mentioned earlier, companies like Mercari, technology-oriented company that people will be happy to work, and in financial institutions, Japan adopt a strict criteria of hiring people, and yet are they willing to enter the Japanese financial institutions, so DX or others? Well, many AI native talents are becoming available. So AI capability center. Think about this. It is not an outsourcing of the business operation, but it is to hire people from locally scratch, and that's why GCC was established. It is not just establishing GCC. It is true that hiring tech talent in Japanese company group, President Fukuda-san had a strong passion, and he has also hired people like me and tried to tap into such opportunity. So having capability in India, it's not just having capability, but in order to fully utilize and connect it with the headquarters, people will have to be fully utilized in the headquarters side. And that's a great comment from Nanda-san. I'd like to ask Wakasa-san once again. Recently, AI mostly, where the software engineers are hired quite actively, and yet layoff and as well as firing is of course prevalent as well. So highly skilled people in India, how you view such talents? It's a big, difficult topic. Wherever we go, I usually call up and ask to make any suggestions and speeches about, for example, those that we help support. I've been quite often asked about the people related to AI. India is quite advantageous because it is an AI-enabled world. Just to give you a background. So no one knows how AI will develop going forward, and what's going to come up in 3 months from now, and a year later, what will happen, and so forth. No one knows, particularly in IT world. Therefore, short-term reaction is because nobody knows what's happened, so therefore shrinking the headcounts and becoming squeezing the size of the teams, and that is a prevalent trend and a drastic change that is taking place, particularly in US market. However, delivering the value or producing output is expedited by AI, but delivering value itself isn't that easy by employing AI. And we started to see another barrier. Also, AI is an amplifier. It is just to amplify. It is more like the multiplicity rather than the additions. So that applies to capabilities as well. Stronger the capability, then that will amplify 10 times, 20 times, and so forth. Yet, if fragile capability or weak capability, then fragility or weakness would also be amplified as well. So building capability for sure would generate the larger outcome or consequences in the later in time. And we worked with many people, yet people from India, as some of the previous presenter mentioned earlier. All these people are adaptive to any changes to the environment, so they are really flexible, be able to adapt. So current world is uncertain, so these people from India is quite advantageous because you never know what happened, but whatever happens, they can adapt really quickly. And having a deep discussion and need to make decision afterwards, and it's going to take time and lag behind like a Japanese companies do. So having the talents in India, Indian talent in the team actually produces a very strong positive impact to the whole team. Thank you very much.
I think there were several important points that Mr. Wakasa mentioned. With AI, it's possible to increase output at a faster speed, but what's important is not output, but outcome, how much value was created. That is important, and to deliver such value, it's not simply gathering a human resource, but we have to have people who are able to utilize AI with full skills. Otherwise, we cannot leverage the strength of AI. And Indian people are very adaptive and are able to catch up speedily and to work with them. That is the value of working with India in this age of AI. Mr. Nanda, last year, Daiichi announced that GCC will be established, and several hundreds or several thousands will be in GCC, and it's quite a large-size GCC, a Daiichi Life Group. AI-driven GCC, you are pursuing not scale, but you would like to implement AI more strongly. Is that the purpose? Yes. In our case, AI utilization amplification is a benefit. By 2030, a goal is to make things faster and speedier. And that is what we are doing right now. And as I've mentioned before, India is very adaptable. Despite uncertainties, people are able to withstand. I'm also one such Indian. Adaptability, I think, is key, Mr. Nanda. Why do you think that Indian people are more adaptive? This is my personal view, but I think it would be convincing coming from Indian person, Mr. Nanda, who were born in India. What I feel is that Indian people tend to think strongly that tomorrow will be better than today. There was a presentation earlier, not only my wife, but children, but I also have to take care of my parents, and tomorrow will be better than today. That leads to growth. If you work hard today, there will be better tomorrow. And that is the very strong notion. So aggressively, people want to move to the next stage or be promoted. I think that is the driving force. Same discussion is what I had with Ayokawa-san earlier. Indian people strongly feel that tomorrow will be better than today. According to Ayokawa-san, what do you think is the background that supports this? There is hope for tomorrow, and there is vitality to move forward. Those are very strong. And also, it is a quite competitive environment. In such an environment, you have to appeal oneself and you have to advance forward. And if this can be utilized in a good way, their capabilities can be brought to bear effectively. But sometimes people might be trying to drag someone behind. So cleverly using that is important. And also there's strength in IT sector. But what about the reality? There is also a question mark, actually, in manufacturing sector. In our case, we have to deal with reality. Even in manufacturing sector in Japan, there is shortage of workforce. And how can we attract talent from India? We have to consider this seriously. IIT students are quite excellent, but Do you need students of caliber as alumni of IIT in your company? And you have to carefully consider what kind of personnel you need, and for them to retain them, what conditions should be offered, what environment should be offered. We need to consider these closely in hiring people. It's true for Japanese talent, but I think we have to be more thorough in considering this. If we do not do this, engineers, even after inviting engineers from India, we may not be able to retain them. IIT students, we also are hiring IIT graduates, but some feel that it was not what they expected. So in what way can we hire Indian people and invite them to work in Japan? We have to be careful in considering this. Matching is important, but after Indian people join Japanese companies, are they going to work for 5 years, 10 years or more, or is 5 years enough? I think there are many different views. And in hiring Indian talent, I think we have to consider all of these. Thank you. That's a very important message. India and Indian people are quite diverse and very large, and simply matching may not be sufficient. Should we blindly pursue students from IIT? What vision, what products are your companies having? And for that, what kind of human resources do you need? And I believe there are different types of human resources, including those who are graduates of IITs and those who are not. And what is important, first and foremost, is the purpose for which you are developing products and what kind of human resources is required for that. So high caliber students exist in abundance in India, and how can Japanese companies appeal effectively to these students and make them find Japanese companies appealing and interested in coming to Japan? And I'm sure many of you would like to have Mr. Nanda work in your company. Daiichi Life may not like that, but second Nanda-san, third Nanda-san, how can we find such personnel? That's important for Japanese companies. Mr. Nanda, why did you choose Japanese company, and what kind of message will make a Japanese companies more attractive? I think you have to show that you are changing. You have to show change. Company is moving towards change. I think that is the message to start with. There are also patterns of failure. First, in Japan, because of shortage of workforce in the teams in Japan, invite people from India. Rather, you have to have HR system developed and non-Japanese recruitment. If so, global talent recruitment. What kind of human resources system do we have to have? What structure? And you have to show that there is growth, and a process of human resource assessment should be clarified, and job descriptions generally. In a few years ago, I wanted to join Japanese companies, and job descriptions were generalist types of job descriptions that did not appear to be IT professional job description. There has to be clear specialist job descriptions. So there are some failures and unexpected mismatches after joining an organization, but people might feel disillusioned or expectations are different. So first, a clear job description is a start point, and HR system is also necessary. Daiichi Life Group has 100 years of history. After joining, I had a culture shock. Everyone has a 30-year career, but I was only the mid-career hire. So I started with HR system development. HR was also surprised that they need a new system. So Nanda-san, you approached HR to develop a new system. Yes, it's similar to foreign firms' HR system. We have to start and reorganize HR system. We now have 150 non-Japanese employees and also employees in India as well. But first of all, Japanese people are quite meticulous in planning everything before starting, but it doesn't have to be so clear cut. It can be started with some ambiguities and start anyway and adapt later. Now we are changing our HR system almost once every year, but company is now flexible, so we should establish new job grade or change HR system every year. Company has become more flexible. On that point, what about Suzuki Motor Company? That is also an important issue. Since around 2010, Indian engineers are invited to Japan for training, and what we started to do is about meals, vegetarian meals to be offered at company canteens. We had to start from that. In Tokyo, there is a place called Nishikasai with a larger population of Indians, but in other locations in Japan, we do not have such a concentration of Indian residents in Japan, and such preparations are necessary, not only for each individual company, but for society around the company. We have to involve community in various activities. Fortunately, where our headquarters is located, is a very good community that is quite keen to invite Indian workers. So we are quite appreciative of that. We have to consider all of these. Otherwise, it will be very difficult if you have a large number of Indian employees. There may be a limit to what one company is able to do. So community or social infrastructure has to be supported. And this is where collaboration between the government and the private sector is necessary.
Okasa-san, you have helped support many Japanese companies and help Japanese companies to be linked with the Indian companies. And what are the types of companies who do well or not do well? How do you describe the differences between the two? Well, large companies to startups, there are many cases. Yeah, those who are performing quite well, or rather learning from the failure is perhaps as more important than not making failure. So failure isn't failure unless they learn from that experience, and that is a great opportunity for growth. And also that is a growth of Indian people, but also that is a great opportunity to upgrade the organization themselves. And from that point of view, they are doing many activities, and these are considered a success case. Somebody mentioned earlier, well, if you keep doing until you make a great success, you will be in great success ultimately. So therefore, from our point of view, so Nanja-san mentioned earlier, changing the company's structures or systems, HR systems, and also expectation need to be adjusted as well. Well, Japanese companies may tend to think that how many years that they're going to keep working in a company, but in IT industry, people will change jobs quite frequently. Well, like the company like Americari, even in a Japanese market, the turnover rate is double digit naturally. It's not very much difference versus Indian companies. So what is a position that the company is existing, and be it size of the company, culture, and history. The company themselves have to have an objective observation about what they are and what the positions are, and they need to do a mapping, and perhaps talents from India will be occupied in this position and so forth, and they need to have a structural understanding about the differences and filling the gap. Doesn't have to be filling completely, and then approach each other to bridge between the two, be it industry-wise or perhaps depending upon the business units of the large companies, culture is different, business to business. And when I get involved with a large company, it is not a corporate-wise culture. It is a business versus a business. So you will change and adjust what you are doing. You need to find the great opportunity to change yourself. Well, Ayukawa-san started to grab a microphone, so probably Ayukawa-san think something, and if you could add some comments. Well, all these points are quite good. From our point of view, 5 years long, for example, I hope that the people work 5 whole years and earning a high salary, making money, and leave the company, and that's okay. It is no longer a lifetime employment system. Job hopping or upgrading status is one way to approach. And on the other hand, mechanical engineers or technical engineers are something that the company will have to grow these people. So how you invite talents from India and try to grow sufficiently is something that we need to explore. Medium to small size companies, succession issues exist. Therefore, what type of program would best fit to the company and Indian people will have to be explored. Even if company wants to make inroads to India, if they dispatch Japanese engineers and Japanese operation will not be viable, what type of solution do they seek is something that they need to explore. They need to put in place a structure and system, and if the company wants to endeavor to India, make it easier for them. And also, there are some Indian engineers who can't find the job in India, could be invited to Japan, learning from Japanese operation and try to succeed the Japanese business here. And we need to put in place some structure and system put in place for that. I'd like to discuss with you further in the future with you all. That was a great comment. And think about the fact that we only have 5 minutes to close the session. I'd like to have a final 1 minute messages per person. Now, entering into Indian market is one thing, and hiring Indian talents, be it hiring in India or versus hiring in Japan. Many companies will think about India to utilize their business, and I believe that many audience are highly interested in such ideas, and therefore, any suggestion to what to start off, what are the proper mindsets to get engaged with India. So, number some, please, first. Rather than concluding just one sentence or remarks, I'd like to share something that I communicate to my team member, and my message is working quite well. Language barrier will be overcome by the Indian people who can speak Japanese. Problem is cultural gap. Inclusive Japanese people, what needs to be changed is something very important. But I think is, for example, when I say Wakasa-san, I will say something that I think, but there are something that I will not communicate or say. But Wakasa-san is Japanese people, and therefore without verbalizing it, Wakasa-san will understand. However, when I talk with Indian people, I need to verbalize it. So you need to talk to somebody who are at 10 years old, and if you verbalize it, and they are able to do so quite well. And I have such a similar experiences in my company. So you're 10 years old, how they could understand quite well. If a 10-year-old cannot understand, then India people will not understand. Jokes aside, this is really the fundamental rule, workable rule. So both parties will have to understand this. So my message is, in order to facilitate the mutual understanding, you need to write up, and you need to verbalize it, and you need to clarify that. And you need to clarify the understanding of the counterparts as well. So you need to start from that position. So communication should not be obscure. You have to verbalize everything, so everything is going to be aligned quite well. Thank you very much for your comment. Wakasa-san, please. Like Nanda-san mentioned, that is quite important. Just to touch upon this, keywords are the high context, low context culture. It is a gradation or shading of culture, and the Japanese culture is high context culture, typical of it. So people don't verbalize everything. If you verbalize everything, it will be sometimes is considered rude. So you would choose not to verbalize it. But being a global, low context culture is prevalent. So you need to verbalize every parts of it. And 22 language of a public language exists in India. And India is considered as European market. So they are really used to low context communication. So there's a grave gap because time is limited. So when you say utilizing the Indian talent, that is something that I do not feel comfortable. It is not a people who use the other people versus not. From Indian people, they try to use Japanese people, fully utilize Japanese people. So you need to be selected as a company so that great talent in India are willing to use your company. You're being selected by them. That's the perspective you need to have. When I do hiring activities from scratch at Mercari, I hired up to 200 people. When I thought about this, we always thought about what needs to be done so that Mercari would be chosen. What are the great things if they start to work in Mercari? So value proposition is something that we explored and something that we always explore all the time. So my message is that EVP, employee value proposition. You need to start to verbalize EVP, such exercise that I hoped you were going to do.
Thank you. That's very easy to understand and it's very clear. Last but not least, Ayukawa-san, please. I believe earlier, a previous speaker in this seminar asked whether you have visited India and encouraged you to visit India. And our company has a principle of 5 again, shop floor, reality, and actual kind, and actual place, actual experience. It's important to visit actual place and have actual experience. If you plan to do business in India, enter into India, please visit India and see with your eyes and walk there with your own foot and meet Indian people and understand who they are. I think that is what hiring is about. So that is my advice. Thank you for that very concrete advice. Go to India directly and meet students and have a more granular view of India. That is the starting point. We were able to receive very insightful inputs from our panelists. What is common is that it is not merely hiring Indian personnel. This is also opportunity for Japanese companies to change their capabilities or transform. And with that notion, starting with actual visits to India, we hope you will take the first step. As Mr. Ohira of Deloitte Tomatsu mentioned, there are programs that will assist you in taking that first step. So please do utilize such programs. And with that, we would like to conclude today's seminar. Please send a big round of applause to the panelists. Thank you very much.
to all the panelists. With this, we conclude the event celebrating India-Japan Next Generation Partnership, Focus Indian Talent and Skill Partnership. There will be a networking session with dinner just outside at the foyer. And if you have used simultaneous interpretation service, we kindly ask that you turn the receivers to the reception desk. Thank you once again for your participation and presence today.